Imhotep, beloveds. It looks like we are live. And welcome to Building a Lighted Temple Wisdom Service. And I am Dr. NteriNelson, a Kemetic physician, a licensed clinician and educator, and co-founder of the Academy of Kemetic Education and Wellness. And delighted to be spending this Sunday with you and our more widening audience as we are trying out some go live platforms in order to expand our reach into this wonderful audience and share these wonderful Building a Lighted Temple wisdom services that have been happening each and every Sunday. And so there's just a couple of things I want to check and to just make sure that I'm here on StreamYard as well as you're seeing me on, okay, it says on Facebook, on YouTube, we are also live. So I'm just going to surge forward here and someone says Hotep family. Okay, so people are coming and checking in. Great, excellent, excellent. All right, so I want to begin by showing you a little video clip because the Academy of Kemetic Education and Wellness had its beginnings in 1999. So we've been around quite a while. We have actually been, my husband and I, Baba Haru Lester Nelson, who made his transition last year, are co-founders of the Academy of Kemetic Education and Wellness in 1999. And we had our humble beginnings by using a space on Mass Avenue in Boston, Mass, and it called the League of Women in Community Service. And this is a very historic building, and we feel blessed to have been guided to have our first classes here because this is in antebellum South Underground Railroad where those who were enslaved would come and have passage through this building. And it's also where Coretta Scott King stayed when she was studying at the conservatory, Boston Conservatory of Music, and it was segregated. So she stayed here, and this is where our beloved Dr. Martin Luther King courted her. So we feel so blessed, my husband and I, Ma'akaru, may he be guiding us now from that ancestral realm, that we had our beginnings in this space. And because this is such special work and precious work, this Kemetic physical work, and the work of lifting the veil so that we may retrieve and know the greatness of our African wisdom and African contribution to world civilization and every human endeavor. And so this is what we have been teaching. And from there, Building a Lighted Temple Wisdom Service was started 2 years ago in April. So this is a little short clip I just want to show you as we begin. This is a clip that I put out in the beginning so you can see where we have come now. Our YouTube page is just rich with videos with excerpts from the Building a Lighted Temple that I'd want to refer you to. And so let's take a listen here. So welcome, everyone. I'm just so delighted to arrive in this moment, as I hope you all are as well. This is a glorious moment
And we are embarking on our Building the Lighted Temple Wisdom Service. This is our first, April 4th. And we are beginning with the honoring of our Nteri Ra on the horizon, on the eastern horizon, as our African symbol of resurrection and renewal. And what does it mean to build the lighted temple, to be a part of this wisdom service? We are entering into this resonant field, this unified field of collective consciousness, of that collective consciousness in building the lighted temple. And what is that temple? That temple is us. It is building that lighted temple that we may have a fit instrument to do our work in the world and achieve our life purpose, and fulfill our life service. And as we build that lighted temple, as we are part of that collective construction of that fit instrument, in this resonant field, we are coming into contact with all others in this like space, this etheric space, this unified field, this resonant space, who are likewise in the same effort of building that lighted temple. And collectively, we are working together and as one to amplify our light, that we may be a greater light in the world. Yes, we are in a very potent and powerful moment at our beginning wisdom service. And today's wisdom service is entitled after none other than Ra, that great Nteri that our ancestors named the sun, that symbol that we see in the sky. And we are just at a little past that spring equinox with the coming of Ra in its full glory over the eastern horizon, a symbol of renewal and resurrection for us, for our African ancestors. So today's talk is entitled Ra, Beings of Light Overcoming Seeming Death, the Kemetic technology for remaking ourselves as beings of light. So I just want to welcome all of you, and I'm so glad that you chose to be here on this glorious Ra Day. So I want to start with an overview of the Building a Lighted Temple service that will be meeting each Sunday at 11. And the goals are that we would together learn to fulfill our soul work and service in this lifetime, in this incarnation, and that we together would tap into the African origins of African sacred ancient wisdom and all the Black contributions of civilization for our guidance, that we would tap into those primal sources for our sustenance and guidance, and that we would make application of their lifestyle, the lifestyle practices of our ancestors in these so-called modern times. I mean, these so-called modern times can just plain seem barbaric. We would learn together and as one to strengthen our glow while building a fit instrument, this temple, which is us, which is you, that will be capable of bearing an increasing spiritual vibration. This is very important work. And together as one to dissipate the anxiety, the depression, trauma, grieving, all that would hinder, all that would fetter the soul in its journey. We are working to restore harmony and balance of right relationship, which we understand as the Nteri or deity Ma'at, with ourselves, with others, the planet, Earth, and to restore right knowledge, which is the Necher Chehuti, in our day-to-day affairs. And together in as one, we will enhance spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical fortitude, so that we're strong and have the stamina in the work ahead. And we will see as we go along that greater access to the ancient wisdom of Medzinecher, which the Greeks would later call hieroglyphics, as this nourishment that comes from even bringing our eyes to this language. We will focus and reflect on the readings from sacred wisdom texts, which reveal the African origins of the ancient Kemetic Egyptian wisdom. And our primary sacred text will be the Pertimru, the book of coming forth by day. And I'm going to hold that up. That was erroneously called the Egyptian Book of the Dead by the conquerors and invaders of Kemet. And I have placed in the chat a link to a virtual copy of this book. I will show you as we go along today that I already have the verses on the screen, so don't worry if you don't have it right at hand now. We will also work together to deepen our understanding of temple rituals, ceremony, practice, for overcoming that which would hinder the soul in its journey. And we will engage in question and answer, call and response, and discussion. Now, the format for each Sunday service will vary. We will have webinars, Zoom combination of teachings. There'll be question and answer, discussion. There'll be links to assign videos to watch independently or assign readings and studies. At times we will have invited guest speakers, so a menu of things. There are 3 types of memberships, as you already well know, and of course we want you to share these with friends and other family and other like-minded folks. Gold membership includes the first, second, third, and fourth Sundays of the month. Silver membership includes the first, second, and third Sundays of the month. And copper membership includes the first and third Sundays of the month. If there are 5 Sundays in the month, we will not meet on that 5th Sunday. So these levels are designed to help folks choose what is going to be sustainable for them, just in terms of the depth of penetration they seek and their resources around time, financial commitment, etc. Benefits of membership will include fellowship and communion with initiates yourselves who are advancing along the path, and greater interaction with me as a eternal teacher of the ancient wisdom, but also an eternal student of these teachings forever and ever. There will be also benefits to other Academy of Kemetic Education classes and services and events per membership level, discounts, etc. So welcome, family, and I want to now share my screen with you so we may take this deep plunge into our primal wisdom. Just give me a moment. Technically, okay, I see we're a big group here today, and there's some things already in the chat. I think I want to just check to see what's been said, so I don't miss anything. Greetings, people are saying, okay, great. Everybody's saying hello. Okay, great. Okay, wonderful. All right. So, and then and as we go along, please do already think about questions as we begin. All right. So now I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, all right. So again, today's presentation is entitled Ra, Beings of Light as Identity in Overcoming Seeming Death, as we see Ra come over the horizon in this resurrection and renewal, the overcoming of seeming death, the Kemetic technology for remaking ourselves as beings of light. And so the outline for today is that we will begin with a libation, then there'll be readings from the Pertin Brew. We will then look into the meaning of what has been read. We will then look at application of these readings in our daily living. And the first application we will seek to make is understanding this wisdom in relationship to the pandemic that we are now undergoing from a Kemetic perspective. Then we'll move into question and answer. So please put your questions in as we go along. There'll be a closing verse and then a preview of next Sunday, what we will do next Sunday. So we're going to begin with that libation. And our libation begins with having first some incense and our water and our plant that may receive this water.
Okay, beloveds, you got a caption there. We may return and show more, but you know, there is a sort of basic template that we move from. We move from that celestial realm and understanding Kemetically how our ancestors taught and about our primordial beginnings. And then we come to earth with a thud and make application in daily living. And beloveds, I want to see if we can bring forward Nora Bell, who has been, well, we'll let her tell you what her experience has been of the Academy of Kemetic Education and Wellness and her experience in the Building the Lighted Temple Wisdom Service. Again, beloveds, this is where we, in the Building the Lighted Temple service, come into this resonant vibrational field, this etheric space, this virtual space that we are cultivating, that we may be able to amplify our vibration and distribute the light. In the midst of these troubled times, it is so important to have this space that we may ingather. And others have come on. Hotep, everyone. I see folks in the chat here. And so let me see if we can bring, and this is more testing out the technical, bring in Nora, beloved. Let's see. Okay, so I think what I want to do is I want to invite. And so Nora, I think what you want to do is go to the link that I sent you earlier and come in using that link. So we'll give her a moment to see if she can arrive here, and I'll see what that looks like on this platform when she does so. And we'll give her a minute to just click that link. Each and every week deals with some major topic, major consideration. At the end of the day, it's all about how we are understanding this dimensional shift we are in, and moving, not only making this dimensional shift from times more material. Oh, here she is. Okay, okay. All right, well, we'll just add you in. Okay, let's go.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, this technology family. Oh, it's just so wonderful.
it is. Well,
Peace and
you
blessings.
know, when you get when you're trying to get used to it, trying to
Oh,
get used to it. It's not easy, beloved. It's great to see you. Grand
and you as
rising.
well. A great
All
and
right.
grand rising to you and all and family as well. I'm so honored.
Well, I am too, and so let us hear your voice, which just amplifies us on so many levels. Go ahead.
Oh,
What's
oh.
this experience been like for you in the academy and in this last 2 years in the Building the Lighted Temple Wisdom
Oh
Service?
my. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, years ago, some years back, when I first was introduced to Dr. Nteri and precious and beloved brother Baba Nelson Lester, and I would say back in 2004ish or five or something like that, I was led to a book that Dr. Nteri wrote on the way to meeting your soulmate, and I was so moved by her words, her soul, the way she expressed herself, and it was so meaningful to me at that time. It was something that I needed, and so I sent an email to her just sharing how my soul was moved, and then 2 years later I received an email from her indicating that she and Baba Lester were going to be starting this academy in Boston, there in Mattapan, and I'm originally from Massachusetts, though I reside now in Virginia, right outside of DC. But so, and I said, "Ooh," because I was searching at that time, spiritually, and what I was searching for mostly I would say was the balance of the divine feminine in my path of the spiritual walk, so to speak. So I said, okay, all right. So I checked it out, and when I went in with there was maybe 10 or other individuals there, and I said, ooh, this is serious. This is deep. And so I remember her saying to us, if you are here, you were brought here, spirit brought you here, and even though you may seem like it's, oh wow, this is maybe a little bit much, I don't think you're going to be able to walk away. And it was true. So I became involved at that time. We
Yeah, and
spent
we're talking now 2 decades ago.
exactly,
Two decades
exactly.
ago.
That's how long.
Yes,
I
yes.
consider Dr. Nelson to be, my major spiritual mentor. Okay, and I'm most grateful to the divine for that.
Yes,
And
yes.
so we studied 2 years, right? And then we took a tour, to Kemet, along with several others from actually DC area, New York, and Boston. Can't even, there are no words. Those of you who have been, going home, and I vocalize, sacred sound is part of who I am, and so many beautiful things happened there that sometimes are immeasurable. So I stayed connected. I moved here, I did early retirement from teaching cane here, but we always stayed connected. And then when Dr. Nelson and Brother Lester, Baba Lester, were taking it to a new level, if you will, uh, I was contacted and to be a part of the Wisdom School. I'm a retired educator. And so for me, learning is like a thirst for me, but spiritual learning particularly. And I can recall, Dr. Nelson and family, that astrology, I was always interested in astrology in a deeper level though, and numerology as well. But I remember this brother who was an astronumerologist in New York. I had a reading. He said to me, he talked about being in the high priestess energy. He said, whether you want to own it or not, it's in your path. And then he also said, the ancestors are calling you. Whatever that means to you, however it comes to you, And I really know that the ancestors calling me brought me back to the wisdom school. And so being a part of it has just enriched my soul. Learning and growing even more so, especially in these times that we're in, which, many number of you know about. Dr. Nelson, alludes to that as we study that we are, as you know, the ancestors coming back. So I'm just here to do my part and join in the collective energy so that we can be a part of it. And I say, I'm here for harmony, balance, and ma'atizat, and righteousness in my spirit, in my mind, in my emotions, in my being, all interconnected together as one. And I've been inspired by Dr. Nelson as well in terms of moving forward with my sacred sound, voice victorious spiritual business, as I say. She's always encouraged me with my voice to just expand it more so. And so I'm grateful for that, and I continue to do that. And I'm doing it as we speak now, where we are right now, growing. And I've met some wonderful sisters and brothers through the academy. I just love you all so, and just so grateful. It's just the nurturing, the family, the connecting to all of our ancestors, feeling them more strongly than ever before. So this is important work for us to do, and it's fun, and having fun as well.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you'll have to give us a sample of that beautiful voice, that, you know, vibration that
Oh,
comes to you and through you, and you are the vessel, the aperture that spirit may speak through. So let us let us hear your sound.
Thank you.
And we're testing out technologically
Oh
how
my
it
goodness,
sounds,
yeah.
because we've been on other platforms and it was like, you go to this range and we can't even hear it
Yeah,
anymore. It's
exactly.
in
And
the
I'm learning,
stratosphere.
I'm
It's in the
learning and growing.
stratosphere.
Yes,
Yeah.
picking up different equipment, pieces of equipment
Yeah.
that I've
Well,
been led to. Yeah, and with Dr. Nteri and the Gumroad. So it was through Gumroad that I was through Dr. Nelson that I actually became involved with Gumroad, for my Sacred Sounds, Voice Victorious. And so there's a beautiful song that she wrote that I sing, but there's just a little mantra I want to share with you that speaks of where we are now and the sun. You speak of Ra, and it goes a little like this.
we're going to see if this
If it
platform
works,
can contain the
I'll bring it
high
down.
vibration. Okay.
It's just a little bit I want to share because it just touched me. A spiritual daughter sent it to me, and she said, "I think of you when I heard this," and I changed the words to the creation, and I just call it that. By many names we know, but I just said creation, all that it entails. But it goes a little like this. Let me just creation, you bring the sun out to light our lives up. You make our love grow every day. Creation, you bring the stars out to light the night up. You make lowercase darkness go away. And I reach for you, you reach for me. No matter where I go, I know you will always be. Never too far, far from my heart. I know you're always there, you're always near to bring the sun out, to light our lives up. You make our love grow each and every day. Thank you for bringing your light to us. So I'm so grateful.
Oh, Nora, you know, the floodgates open when you sing. You know, you always have that effect on me.
Oh,
And the
the sound.
technology held your sound. Now we got to put it to the test. We got to have a little reascension into sacredness, and we got to go to that highest one. You know, the one where you just go off into the stratosphere. Let's test it out
I'm
and
just going to
see.
do that last piece. The rising sun's inside. The rising sun's inside. The rising sun's inside. The rising sun is
Better, better, better. We finally found, you know, an aperture that could contain, you know, that vibration could go through without, you know,
well,
sort of.
I'm just opening up. It's early. I haven't really done my little chakra. There's a chakra toning that you do to warm up
You
the
always
voice.
do amazingly. It's about trying to do this technically. That's where we're at. And on that note, beloved, and all beloveds that are here today in the listening audience, you know, 20 years ago, Nora, we started in the brick and mortar space, first on Mass Avenue, that the ancestors guided us to and protected us in. Because we, you know, when you start teaching metaphysical studies in 20 years ago in Boston, Mass, you know, we needed a safe space. And then we eventually moved to our location that we were in when by the time you started classes
Mm-hmm.
there. And then time passed. We graduated class after class after class. And then things started shifting virtually. Things, you know, were going virtual. And I have to say, the academy, you know, I for one have been slow coming kicking and dragging to this technical thing, but gradually getting there. And so now we are offering the programs that we offered in our online, like now, in that we offered in our brick and mortar space, where we brought large groups of people to do the rituals and the classes and the soul, you know, the winter solstice, the summer solstice, the spring equinox, the, you know, the autumnal equinox, honoring all those stationings of Ra, in ritual, our Kemetic celebration, um, Kwanzaa celebrations, and so on and so on. So uh, it's just an amazing thing in that our work goes forward. So Nora, is there something else you want to say before maybe you want to put in the chat how people can learn more about your work, your beautiful unfolding that is happening, and we're so blessed to be a part of. Can you?
Well, put it in the chat. Well, I'll just put my email because I don't have the info, which I can then send the links to Gumroad where you can access.
Sure. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so
All right.
I'll
And
just
and even if you go out now, which I'm going to have you do,
yes.
if you can find the link, just copy it. This is the technical stuff, Nora.
Aye.
You see, on here, I did the technical stuff and just cut and pasted how people can sign up for membership. I don't know if you can see the chat where I am. If you go back in the chat, you can see where I pasted in how to get a guest pass to
On
come
the
in.
other site when I do the YouTube thing, when I come back into the YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And also where people can make a donation. if they would like to. So, beloved, enjoy the rest of the service, and we're just going to thank you so much, Nora.
Thank you.
You're just a
Thank you.
love.
Thank you. So I'll
We-
include the link
we got to
for.
get. We're going to Kemet again, and
Oh,
and more. All right.
yes. All
All
right.
right. So
Very
let me
good.
see if I get this right. Where I sort of. Okay. Take you. Okay. Shemim Hotep from this space, but see you in the chat. Okay. All right. Wow. We are blessed always, and things work technically. So please share your comments if there's something we can improve on, family, so that we get this right. We want to get this right, and USA 2000 says, "Dua, Sister Nora." Yes, she is such a beloved. Yes, Hotep, everyone who's I see here, Horace and Shanae and USA 2000 and Martha Ua Akata. Excellent, excellent. So just wanted to share this with you. Let me put this in because this is
In the age of Taurus.
okay. So this is just a 3-minute preview of the I did, and where we've been focusing in this dimensional shift that we're in, moving from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age. And this is just a little preview, 3 minutes. I want to show you the fuller video is on YouTube, but we are working to understand what has happened in these ages and how we are now envisioning this new world coming into view, these new energies, the energies of Aquarius Hapi, and how we are embracing them as we envision this new world and make this dimensional shift, not only from time's material into a re-spiritualization of consciousness, but in the shifting of age from Pisces to Aquarius. So let me just play this short video.
We are like as Haru, Shemsu, followers of Haru.
Let me start at the beginning. Let me see.
We are like as Haru, Shemsu, followers of Haru, the son, Son, and daughter, like as Haru. We are striving to be like as the image and likeness of our Heavenly Father, the Creator. Haru is the Masu, the Karas, the eternal child in the age of Taurus, and later biblically appearing and biblically called Jesus the Christ in the age of Pisces. We must remember that the one in the same Haru Masu leads us throughout the ages eternally. However, beloveds, it is in this Piscean Christianized reappearance that, and the one named Jesus the Christ, that much confusion and trauma has been caused by the images depicted and the doctrine imposed. And as the documentary produced by Tariq Nasheed, The Religion of White Supremacy, details, and that I, along with Professor Small and others, were featured, that the Piscean age, the age of the fishes, and even the age before, the age of Aries, the lamb, the ram, begin the ages that have precipitated a white supremacist, fragilist paradigm that has gripped our planet with traumatic impacts to the world's inhabitants. The Mesu Haru is the one and the same ever coming one in each age imbued with the energy of that age. Each age is the renewing of sustenance after suffering, drought, darkness, diminishment, degradation within us as the son, daughter, or what would come to be described as sin in this Piscean age Christian dispensation.
All right, beloveds. So I feel that the goals for today are very much being accomplished, which is to highlight the work that we have been doing in the building of the Lighted Temple Wisdom Service over the last 2 years, and our stretch to go live to reach a more expanded audience so that more can come into a platform that we know how to work. And we like I have shared, we have been at this a long time, and uh, the co-founding of the Academy Kemetic Education and Wellness is 20 years ago. And now we need to have the technological expanse and outreach that is necessary for these times. And let's look at, in the time that we have remaining, let's look at what is happening in these times, in these troubled times. And these are things that we have talked about over the wisdom services that have occurred. That, beloveds, right now, we are faced with 5 pandemics and really moving on to 6. And I'll just list those briefly. And as you come to the wisdom service each Sunday, we'll be talking more about how we are needing to fortify ourselves. This is no game we play, and that we may fulfill the work and service for the upliftment of our planet and its inhabitants. And so we look at what is happening in this transition and how we might fortify ourselves. The first pandemic is the pandemic of white supremacy and fragility. And that pandemic of white supremacy and fragility had its precipitation beginning in the age of Aries. Actually, really going back to age of Taurus, because this is when we see an earlier precipitation, but definitely in the age of, as we move into the age of Aries, in the age of Pisces, we see the deepest, like you see the early precipitation or snowflakes falling, and you see the early beginnings as you look back through the ages. And by the time we get to the movie, The Woman Who Would Be King, we hear Viola Davis say, as she looks out in her prophetic way of seeing, an evil is coming. An evil is coming. And so we are in this deepest precipitation of this white supremacist paradigm. And in our work in the Building the Lighted Temple Wisdom Service, in order for us to garner the strength of what we have learned in this Piscean age to move us into the Aquarian age, we at first have to subtract out the trauma of this white supremacist fragilist paradigm. So we are at work in the healing, in a panoramic healing of what has happened in this age. And beloveds, many of you in this listening audience, you know, you want to hold the awareness that many of us have reached back to a prior age, the Taurian age, to locate ourselves, to remember the greatness that we have made to world civilization and contribution in every human endeavor, in order to get the sustenance of that age in time, and then to go through these ages of Aries and Pisces up to now, through a Ma'afa. So the trauma work is immense, but we have to have the proper orientation to even wrap around what it is we must do, because there is benefit that we have gained in this Piscean age and strengths. The video that I most recently posted on this subject and I presented this work at the Association for the Classical African, the ASCAC, the Association for the Study of Classical African Civilizations conference that just happened here in May. Their international conference. I presented this instruction on, and so you can see that video. But our work now is to garner the strength so that we are moved through the shift into the Aquarian age. So that is the first of the pandemics that we have been going through, the white supremacist fragilist pandemic that has gripped the planet, the entire Earth. The second pandemic has been COVID-19, as we all know, and we have been working through that and are still working through that. And what happens with COVID-19 is it pulls the Band-Aid off of things that have been there to just even try to address the impact of a white supremacist paradigm. This is not something that's lasted a day, a week, a year. This is 2,000 years. I mean, this has been a long onslaught and more. Because we got to go back to ancient, the invasion of the Greeks and the Persians and the Romans. I mean, we can hit the rewind back even further, how long we've been under this onslaught. So COVID-19 just ripped the Band-Aid off of anything that would be curative of or covering over the work of healing that we are needing to do, that we may truly know our strengths. And so that's number two. And number three, the impact of this supremacist paradigm on the planet and its inhabitants. That has been revealed. The impacts of and number three that are revealed are planetary wide: the pollution, the deforestation, the disturbance in all the kingdoms, the mineral kingdom, with the smashing of atoms and all the nuclear devilment that's going on, and the destruction of within the vegetable kingdom, within the animal kingdom, the the vegetable kingdom with our foods, and the deforestation, the animal kingdom with the extinction of animals. And in the human kingdom, we nearly need to watch the nightly news to see the destruction in the human kingdom. And the fourth pandemic, beloveds, even since we started this wisdom service, is the war now that's broken out between Russia and Ukraine. And the fifth pandemic, beloveds, is what we see is a fuller scale precipitation of gun violence in America and in other parts of the world. A war within a war. So we must fortify ourselves. So this building a lighted temple, and actually I'll say this, the sixth pandemic, which we will be talking about more going forward, is the pandemic of AI, because as we have learned in the wisdom school, that energy can be used at a higher turn of the spiral in terms of its spiritual, divine, and optimal expression. And energy can be used at a lower turn of the spiral in terms of its coarse, debased, and crude expression. And so we are in the midst of this AI, which can have a positive application, but we live in this dimensional shift where material consciousness would seek to use this in a material way, and with all the qualities that go with the material consciousness of greed and domination and all that which would violate the laws of Ma'at. So we do our work. And I want to show you this as we come closer to our close for today. And please do put your comments in the chat. Please do keep in contact, and come and join us in the academy. So I'm just going to put this up here now. What is the most important thing in regard to the Academy of Kemetic Education and Wellness and building a lighted temple? As you can see in these many images, beloveds, that I'm just going to take my add myself to the stream. And I'm just going to pause a minute because when Rosalind calls me, she's telling me something technical. Hold on just one moment. All right, I'm back and I have the phone. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm missing her. I missed her call. Rosalind is an amazing Academy member, and she just has such attunement. Oh, here she is again. Let's see. Here she is. Hello? Okay. Yes, yeah. I can always count on you, Rosalind. Absolutely. Can you hear me now? Excellent. All right. So I know if I put a picture up, I have to put me up at the same time talking, so I don't. Okay. Thank you, Rosalind. Thank you, beloved. Mayor Asha. Much love. All right. As always, Rosalind is that one who is very spiritually attuned and just picks up that phone and zeroes in and helps us make these course corrections. Kata says, printing drones, all the natural result of Western approach to civilization. Yes, the importance to them of comfort and convenience. Oh, yeah, and User 2000 has said no audio. Yes, I had not looked over here. Yeah, and also Kata says, thank you for addressing the dangers, yes, of AI. Yes, and we're going to go and take a deeper dive into those dangers. I likewise have a YouTube video up on the use of a nuclear um, power and armament and weaponry, and how science, the difference between the process uh, of uh, fusion and fission. So you can look at that uh, documentary on YouTube. But now that we know, because Rosalind has informed that you can hear me, so what's the most important work in the Academy going forward? How will we want to spend our time and days going forward? Many of you know that I became a septuagenarian uh, last September, and now I consider myself ageless, timeless. We are eternal. We are the Berjet Nehehe, the ever coming ones. So I don't pay attention to age. But there's something about that doorway of being a septuagenarian that has a way of really uh, refining and sharpening that purpose, that soul purpose and life purpose. And so I hold up this image for you, beloveds, to show you that over these last 20 years, you know, I have been blessed through the work done in the Academy to present at many forums and to be a part of this. The Academy has been a part of a wide African, Pan-African family. And, you know, I have presented extensively in these Pan-African forums. And so my husband and I are pictured here. And as I said earlier, Baba Haru, may you be Ma'akaru, as one among the ancestors now. And here you see us pictured with Queen Nzinga in the middle, who was a former president of ASCAC, the association. So she guided ASCAC through its early toddling footsteps, as others have guided me in these early toddling footsteps. And if for those who are familiar with ASCAC, ASCAC is the Association for the Study of Classical African Civilizations, and it is a premier concourse for African Black scholarship, those who have been in the process of reclaiming and retrieving our African greatness and writing the books and doing the researches and going to the archaeological sites, the museums, etc. And are those who are featured here. And so I have been blessed to be a part of ASCAC and to present at ASCAC and to have authored 6 books. So I'll hold this one up. It's Building the Lighted Temple with the Metaphysical Keys to the Tree of Life. I'll show you more of that in a moment. But I wanted to just bring us to this hero. You know, these are our heroes and sheroes. This is Dr. Richard King, who is the father of melanin. He is the father of melanin. Folks writing about melanin came later. Touch back to the richness of his work. And Dr. King and I, we were both blessed to be in the lodges in Black Gnostic studies under the late Dr. Alfred Lagong. So Dr. King is my lodge brother, and may he be ma'akaru. And here we have Tariq Nasheed and Professor Small, and as we were both featured in the documentary, The Religion of White Supremacy, and an amazing documentary. And this is the impact that we have to subtract out of our experience so that we fortify our strength going forward. And this is the faculty at UMass Boston, where I have served as adjunct professor in the Africana Studies Department. So my faculty members, and Milana Karinga at one of the Sheikh Anta Diop conferences that I've presented at, and Dr. Wade Nobles and Dr. Leonard Jeffries and so on. So I won't name everyone here, but you can just see the richness here. We see Dr. Ben, we see Anthony Browder, we see Renoko Rashido, Dr. Rosalind Jeffries, Mfadishi, here's Dr. Nobles again, and I'm blocking his name again. I'll come back to him. And Queen Afua, Greg Carr, just on and on and on. Ra'ung Nefa, so many greats here. So I just show you this to make the point that, yes, these forums are wonderful, and it is a wonderful experience to present in these forums. And at the same time, what is pressing and very important in the Academy is to create a space where people can come and amplify their vibration and distribute the light. And that's what Building the Lighted Temple Wisdom Service is, week to week to week. And so I just want to remove this for now. Oh, Dr. Charles Finch, that's Dr. Charles Finch, and so many others. Okay. I'm going to remove this, and then I want to put this up here a moment, add to the stream. Oh, no, that's not the one I want to do.
We are like as.
Let's see. All right, well, I'll just hold up the book for you. That our work is based in the Kemetic system that our African ancestors of the Nile Valley have given us, the tree of life, and the Merkaba energy body of life. So we understand our equipment, which is both human and divine, by using and understanding this divine cosmogram of the tree of life and the Merkaba energy body of life. And our work has been to move from the linear tree of life and linear consciousness to indwell the Merkaba energy body of light and spherical consciousness, because we are spherical beings. When we knit ourselves back together again, joining our North Pole and South Pole, our masculine and feminine energies in within the fire within, our red crown and white crown within, our Osset and Osir within, our positive and receptive nature within, then we are that lighted temple. And so our work is to learn how to use this equipment and to have our soul, our higher soul bodies using this instrument, that it may have a fit instrument to do this work in the world. And so just looking here at the chat. All right, beloved. So I think we've accomplished a lot today. I feel excited and encouraged and inspired in this technical thing. And, you know, that technical thing is key. And we have to have that at work. Let me see if I can pull this up a moment. Let me see. I think I'll pause there, and unless there's some questions that you can post in the chat, and I don't see any, but we always have time for comments or questions. Bring you into, like we did Nora today, and have you expound more on what it is you would like to say. One of the things we say in the academy is that no one of us knows, beloveds, no one of us knows what we all may know together and as one. And so on that note, I'll look forward to seeing you next week. Tell others about this service, spread the word, share your insights on how we can become more technically enhanced, so that we can amplify this work and reach a wider audience. That's our work now. Uwaka says peace to the chat. Peace and love, everyone. Enjoy your rest of your Sunday, and du'a'u, praise and appreciation to you and for you, that you have chosen to spend your Sunday morning in this wisdom service, that we may all immerse ourselves within the primal wisdom and make application in our daily living. Onk Uja Seneb.